So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful Wednesday morning. So, we have Miss Allie, and I'm so grateful that she's posting this for us and getting to share such valuable information. She is a financial advisor. And just for those of you that don't know me, my name is Melody. I am a business coach and a strategist. And my passion truly is working with women and helping them map out the next 10 years of their life, helping them really assess what it is that they want to create out of their lives and how to plan for their future properly, especially for business owners. And so Allie and I got connected, and Allie does the same thing just in the financial world. So she's looking at the money, she's looking at how much money is coming in, how are we planning for the future that you want to create with your dollar bills. And I'm really excited for this partnership because she's going to add so much value to my clients and to my network in that aspect. And I'm really excited for her to share her Wealthy Woman Blueprint, which um, she just now launched. So her and Lindsay just launched the Wealthy Woman Blueprint, which is basically just the same service that they've always done with a focus on wealthy women. And so I invited women that I love and look up to that I know need planning too. So I'm really excited to get to hear from you. And thank you, Lindsay, for being here as well and for all your support.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us and creating, this platform that we're all a little new to, but that's okay. When you're in the finance world, there are certain hoops to jump through, and Google Meet just is not approved by our back office for security reasons. So this Ring Central platform will allow us to kind of get it all done, do what we need to do, have the Q&A. I've got a poll for you guys that I will release a little bit later and get your feedback on. But without further ado, I think this will be a great experience to get to know me better, get to know our team better, and not only our Wealthy Woman Blueprint, but we're going to spend some time being super mindful. I think in our world, we're starting to see a shift from people being more hands off and maybe unaware of their finances to raising their awareness and being super, super mindful about the choices that they're making. So, what I'm going to go through today is a little bit about me, my story, the gap that Lindsay and I found in the industry and in our business. And then we'll dive into the 5 traits of a wealthy woman. And I encourage you to take notes if you'd like. There is going to be a little action item with each of the traits. So I encourage you to write it down and really just feel that for yourself and what that means for you and your financial life. And then, like I mentioned, at the end, we'll just have some time to ask some questions, do a little Q&A if anything comes up or if there's anything that our team can help you with. So without further ado, again, just a quick introduction. My name is Allie Miller. I am a second-generation certified financial planner. And alongside Lindsay and my father, Rob, we are the partners of the Miller Financial Group that he started about 35 years ago. As a family company, we are headquartered down in Boca Raton, Florida, but pretty early on in my life, I identified my passion for travel and made it pretty clear to my dad, Rob, that the best thing we could do for me to come into the business would be to continue on this virtual remote landscape. And we have, and that's worked out really, really great for us. And it allows me to be all over the country, visiting clients in person, but also having virtual meetings. So if you don't know about me, like I mentioned, I live full-time on the road in a self-converted ambulance. Back in 2021, I was sick of living in Denver, and I wanted to hit the road and start traveling and seeing all that our country has to offer. And so that's exactly what I did. I bought an ambulance, I ripped it out, converted it into my home, and started traveling around the country. Currently about an hour and a half outside of Jackson, Wyoming. If you were on the call just about 10 minutes ago, I was mentioning I am now living on a farm, which is super cool, getting some life experience there. But as to next month, who knows, right? Could be back on the road again.
Yeah, and I'm
And
here between Boca Raton and West Palm Beach, Florida. So if anyone wanted to meet in person, whether it be a coffee chat, a meeting, anything like that, to go, go for a walk by the ocean, I'm here too. So I'm not going anywhere. So we got two sides of the coin here.
absolutely. And so the reason that I talk about my lifestyle a little bit and tell you a little bit about me and my travels is because it may seem unconventional to most people, but to me, it's really deeply intentional, and it's a life that I've manifested and built around certain freedoms. And there are really three main freedoms that I like to talk about: the freedom of time, the freedom of money, and the freedom of location, which is a big one for me. So the freedom of time really being spending your hours on what actually matters to you, your mission, your passions, and the people that you love. Um, Freedom of location, working from wherever we are, not being necessarily tied to an office or a specific city. And the freedom of money is really not just earning well, but making decisions from a place of clarity and alignment with our money. Make decisions that support the life that we're building and honor the future that we want. That is my definition of the freedom of money. So these three freedoms are really at the core of what I want for every woman that I work with, not necessarily to live in a self-converted ambulance and travel around the country full time, but to develop the money mindset and the financial plan that helps craft a life that she genuinely loves. Um, so, talking a little bit about the gap, right? Lindsay and I were brainstorming one day in one of our quarterly EOS meetings and deciding who we are most passionate about serving. The expertise is there, whether you are a 70-year-old retired looking for distribution, you know, assistance, or you're a young entrepreneur looking for accumulation guidance. And we put our heads together and said, we really noticed something, and that we were meeting with women, entrepreneurs, CEOs, creatives who are really starting to earn real money, coming into six figures, or finally feeling consistent in their business, starting to hit those big milestones, but still feeling a little lost when it came to their finances. There's the quiet gap that figured out how to build business and to make money, but nobody ever taught them how to use it intentionally and strategically toward building the future that they envision for themselves. In our opinion, the financial industry totally overlooks this stage. These young female entrepreneurs are not wealthy enough for big firms, but they've outgrown basic budgeting tips on Instagram or their parents' financial advisor who really was never proactively planning for them anyway. And in this in-between space, the gap, in our opinion, it's filled with some of the smartest, most ambitious women who are doing everything right, but still feeling uncertain, behind, a lack of clarity on what they need to do for their future. And that's really what lit the fire for us, because in our opinion, that is when, in that exact moment when real financial support matters most, and having a coach to help guide the decisions that you're making. When we get to that point where we have a little free cash flow, our income is a little bit higher than our expenses, we really have the choice to spend it and to increase maybe some of the material things in our life, or to really start planning for our future and the freedoms that I mentioned earlier. So, not the planning shouldn't come not only after you've made it or you've accumulated assets, but really right now while you're planning, growing, and building your future. So the turning point for me was I realized after college that most advice is boring, confusing, there's a little bit of shame there. And often, I love my dad. Often it comes from that older white guy, right? And it kind of pushes women to avoid money, not because they don't care about it, but really because of a lack of education, the natural societal conditioning that has happened over the last, forever, the generations before us, where money and investing are really these male domains. And then women just typically tend to put everybody else first. That's just the way we are, whether it's our family, whether it's our business, and we delay our own planning to really care for everyone else. So Lindsay and I wanted to change that. And so we co-founded Wealthy Woman Blueprint, which is essentially a financial planning platform and a community made specifically for ambitious female entrepreneurs who are starting to make real money and they want to take control of their future. So before I dive into Wealthy Woman Blueprint, I want to start with something bigger. And to me, that is, what does it mean to be a wealthy woman? And even more granular than that, what is wealth? Defining wealth. So first of all, to me, just the basis of a wealthy woman, number one, she knows what she wants. Number two, she uses money to create those freedoms, time, location, passion. And number three, she feels clear and confident in her choices. She's not making choices because she's being influenced, but because it is in line with her future and what she wants to achieve. Wealth, as a definition, to me, is not put in any kind of box. 7 figures, Forbes list, the $300,000 yacht, etc. Wealth, to me, is the alignment of the three most important things in your life, which is your health, your values, and your goals for the future. Without these, we have no guiding light besides what other people tell us and the information we get from others. But if you learn anything about, if you take anything away from this webinar today, it really is that we are the ultimate creator, and we have when we know what we want, we're able to really achieve anything, because naturally we will go through the motions and the universe will help attract exactly what we want. So again, wealth, the alignment of health, values, and goals. Diving into that real quick: health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional well-being. Money means nothing if we're not feeling good in our body and our mind. Number two, values, knowing what truly matters to you, your purpose, your passions, your non-negotiables, and making sure your life reflects those. Number three are your goals, having clear, meaningful goals, both personal and financial, that give you direction and motivation. A lot of the time, what we're seeing in our country is people who get comfortable, right? They don't set these personal goals for themselves to push themselves out of their comfort level, and you get into this this wheel, this rat race of doing what feels comfortable and not pushing yourself out of that comfort zone to really achieve what you want and to consistently be setting goals for yourself and achieving those. So this kind of wealth, the alignment of health, values, and goals, is way more accessible than people think. Like I said, a lot of the times with those three things, with your health, your values, and your goals, these are all self-manifesting things. And while we love to use help when we need it, these are all things that we are in total control of, and will control our destiny. Next, I want to jump into the core, the 5 traits of a wealthy woman. I encourage you to take notes if you can. I'm going to give you 5 core traits. And then, like I said, with each of those core traits, I'm going to give you a little action item to write down. And to really get the most out of this webinar, I would love for you to take 10 minutes and really go through these 5 core traits after our presentation, and the little action item associated with it. The whole point of these core traits are not, she maxes out her Roth IRA, or she maxes out her Roth Solo K, or she has 6 months of expenses in cash, right? That is very granular. The point of these 5 core traits is to think bigger, to elevate ourselves into a greater sense of awareness and mindset when we're making decisions, because we live in a consumer country, we live in a consumer world, and the information that is constantly put in front of us is to buy and to spend, and the flashy fast food restaurants on the street, and you can spend your money easily. It's almost a self-control trait to not spend your money and to really save. So these 5 core traits will help lay the groundwork for some great mindset elevation, and just being super aware of the decisions that we make. Okay, so number 1, she knows her numbers. It doesn't mean that she loves spreadsheets like us, right? You don't have to love spreadsheets, even though some of us do. It means she's willing to look, and she seeks out those opportunities to do better, right? She is not deciding to kind of be unaware of the numbers. She really wants to dive in, understand what's going in, what's coming out, what are my debts, what are my interest rates, how much am I saving, what's my investment performance, and setting goals both for personal and for business. So she knows her numbers and she plans for the future. My action item for this core trait is to schedule 30 minutes a month to check in with your money and set achievable goals for yourself. If you don't have any kind of tracker, right? It's like, I've got 10 credit cards. How would I ever check in? It's going to take way more than 30 minutes a month to check in with all my credit cards. There are platforms out there, including one that we make available to you through Wealthy Woman Blueprint, that allow you to link up your accounts and have a dashboard where you can see everything all in one place. This is something that I do multiple times a month, logging on, checking out, seeing where my spending is, and I am no budgeter, right? I do not expect anybody to essentially lower their standard of living every month to hit a budget unless you have a spending issue, right? If you are consistently making more money than you're spending and you're able to save for your goals, budgeting is a thing of the past. But to check in with yourself and make sure you're tracking towards your goals and you're not overspending. Number 2, she spends with intention. This is one of my favorite ones, really because it has changed my life over the last, let's call it 2 years, okay? What it means to spend with intention, she doesn't impulse spend because of certain societal norms or certain temptations, right? She spends based on her values and her future goal. Not saying we can't treat ourselves to material items. I mean, I can't, because I live in such a small space, and that has put some of those guardrails on for me, no big closet in here. But not leaning into thinking that our money is meant to buy things, right? If we're able to elevate above that and realize that our money or our wealth is really the alignment of our goals, our values, and our health, and that the stuff doesn't matter, we're going to elevate ourselves from thinking that, again, the money is meant to buy material items or to get the bigger house or to get the new car, and really put it to work for ourselves and for our future. She respects future her just as much as the people around her. Or like I said, women have a tendency to put everybody above themselves. And when she spends with intention, she is taking that time to respect future her and to save for herself before, giving to others. All right. Action item for She Spends with Intention is to do a joy audit. I love this. It is really just looking at your either the last 10 purchases you made, which is on a smaller scale, or look at what you spent for the month of August, for example. And then you ask yourself, did these expenses move me toward the life that I want? Or were they just expenses or things that I bought, those material items? Number 3, she builds systems and she doesn't rely on memory or willpower. Willpower is unpredictable. It runs out sometimes. We're not perfect. But systems beat motivation and they're sustainable long term. Systems create structure, they create consistency. So good financial habits happen automatically. It's not something that you need to think about or have daily motivation about. What I mean by this is she automates whenever possible. For example, automating your investments, automating your cash savings, automating your bill pay or your credit cards. And it really takes the guesswork out and the stress out of money management, right? It allows you to stay on track even when you're busy, even when you're stressed. You don't have to continue to think about your finances on a weekly or monthly basis. Action item for you, try and automate one thing this week, whether it's setting up automatic contributions to your IRA or your freedom fund, your vacation fund. If you're Beth, I know you're there. You want to go on a great vacation, we set aside money for that. Get it done automatically. Credit cards, okay? These should be on auto pay without a doubt. There is no reason to call your credit card company every month or to try and remember to go online every month to pay it. As long as you have enough in your checking account to pay your credit cards in full every month, those should be set on auto pay. These little systems build up over time and they create powerful momentum towards your goals without having to rely on that memory or the motivation every single day. So build systems and do not rely on memory or willpower. Number 4, she identifies when she needs help and she asks for it. This is a big one. She realizes she doesn't know it all. She doesn't have to do it alone. She's got advisors, mentors, and a team all contributing to her success. And she isn't afraid to identify some limitations and say, I don't know, can you help? So for this action item, think about one area you're stuck or avoiding and who could help. Believe me, this is one I've been thinking about a lot, especially when it comes to social media. Like, I'm a financial advisor. I am not a social media girly. So knowing when you need help and asking for it is half the battle. And last but not least, number 5, she invests in herself, whether that's education, therapy, coaching, even some quiet time to yourself to pick up a book or whatever you need to do to invest in yourself and your future. It's strategy. It's not splurging. So she grows over time, right? We have this growth mindset, but we also honor our current financial reality. We're not taking reckless risks. If we're not in a great financial place, we're not going to do something with a massive financial output. Okay, we want to invest in ourselves, but in the right way at the right time. She understands the power of mindset. This one is so important, and half of investing in yourself is understanding the power of your mindset. She visualizes, she manifests, and she aligns her energy with what she wants. One of my favorite sayings, where attention goes, energy flows. We are so, so powerful, more powerful than we can even imagine or that we've ever been told or taught. So understanding that, knowing what you want, first of all, you got to know what you envision for your future, but taking that time to visualize that and feel what that feels like to you is the basis of the power of manifestation, and helps kick everything that you're doing into overdrive. Action item for number 5, last but not least, what is one thing that you've been thinking about wanting to invest in for either growth, clarity, either professional or personal? Those are my 5 traits of a wealthy woman. As a little call to action, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, number 1, which of these core values comes naturally to me, right? Just to recap, she knows her numbers, she plans for the future, she spends with intention and not just because, she builds systems and doesn't rely on memory or willpower, she identifies when she needs help and she asks for it, and she invests in herself. So which of these core traits come naturally to you? Follow-up question. What areas can you stretch yourself to be more mindful and to grow more in the future? That is self-awareness. Really the start of your wealthy woman journey. If you ever work with me, I am very mindset focused, very manifestation focused. So these are some tools that you can use to start that on your own and start creating that power. Okay. I'd love to introduce Wealthy Woman Blueprint. Just want to take a sec, see if anybody has any questions. Feel free to jump into that Q&A and we will be able to get those answered. We'll also have time for Q&A at the end, but if anything is top of mind that was prompted from those 5 traits, feel free to get that into the Q&A right now. Next, again, I want to introduce Wealthy Woman Blueprint and what it is and what it does. So first and foremost, like I mentioned, Wealthy Woman Blueprint is a financial planning process. It is one-on-one, totally customizable, and designed for ambitious female entrepreneurs who are starting to make real money and want to take control of their financial future. So Wealthy Woman Blueprint, you'll hear me call it WWB. So if you hear WWB, just know that that is our little acronym. So WWB really helps women, number 1, get clear on where they are now. What is your current financial situation? What are you currently doing? And where they want to go. What do you envision for your future? Number 2, we create clear, personalized financial and estate plans, which is commonly overlooked, to align with their goals and their values. We have a deep conversation called the Meeting of the Minds, and I essentially get it all on the table of what do you want? What do you envision? How much money do you want to spend? How much time do you want to be working? When do you want to? All the things, right? It is a totally customizable life that we live. We are the creator, and I am really just the avenue to put it on paper and to make it real. So we get clear, personalized and financial plans, estate plans that align with goals and values. We make confident decisions throughout life, right? It helps women make these decisions throughout life without the stress and overwhelm that comes along with it. And last but not least, WWB helps women avoid financial risks that quietly holds us back or stir up life unexpectedly. This is a huge benefit of working with a financial advisor in general or a financial coach, is we don't know what we don't know. And as life progresses, there are certain things that come on the horizon, and it's good to have someone by your side to help you analyze those risks over time. who is WWB for? It's for my woman business owners, my high earning female professionals. So even if they are not an entrepreneur, they are coming into those earnings, 6 figures or so, and really saying, like, now what? Those are our girls. And lastly, anybody who's tired of winging it, right? They are ready to build wealth intentionally and come up with a plan. There are no minimums, as I mentioned earlier, as like this gap in the market. We see, Ed Jones guys with a $250,000 investment minimum. There's no investment minimum. There's no insurance minimum, nothing like that. We're here to create a plan guided by those personal values and create the action items that are needed to implement the life that you want for your future. Really just being super intentional about our wealth and how we build that. What makes WWB different? It's personalized and it's practical. So you will never receive any generic advice from WWB. It is a one-on-one or two-on-one when Lindsay's in the meeting with us. And it is a way to just get clear steps that are tailored to your goals and vision. We support you at every stage of growth. So whether you're just hitting that 6-figure marks or you are scaling beyond, the blueprint adapts with you. As I mentioned earlier, we have financial planning software for the way up the mountain, as well as getting you down the mountain safely. So this is something that will grow with you and adapt with you over time. It's accessible and it is jargon free. I break down complex financial concepts into simple, actionable strategies that are really easy to follow and check up on over time. And last but not least, it is community driven. So, one of my visions with WWB as we continue to grow is to build a community and connect with like-minded women, not only for support or encouragement or accountability, but to all lift ourselves up together, right? I love working with women, and everybody does something different. To all have a community together and to meet and mingle, not only make friends, but business partnerships, etc. That is my vision for the WWB community. So let's say you sign up for WWB. How does it work? What are we looking at? Number one, we're going to get clear on where you currently are financially and where you want to go, right? So we always create what we call our as-is blueprint or our current blueprint. A lot of advisors will just jump right into the recommendations and the proposals and that kind of stuff. But what I like to do is I really like to dissect where you are now versus where we can help you go. So we're going to take, your assets, your income, and your goals for your future and how much you want to spend in retirement. And we're going to back that into what you're currently doing and if there's any shortfall or surplus, right? Which would be fabulous. But getting clarification on what we're currently doing and where we're going. Number two, we're going to create that custom financial plan that is aligned with your goals and your lifestyle, right? We're going to work on those recommendations to take that surplus or that shortage into a surplus and make your dreams for the future a reality. 3, we're going to take action with simple steps and smart automation. So like I mentioned earlier, contributing to your retirement account shouldn't be something that you are thinking about every single month. It really should be a set it and forget it. So we're going to help you get some of these automations on track and essentially outline the implementation action items that you need to take within our year together to start to move closer to your goals. We're going to create your essential estate planning documents to protect yourself and your future, right? You are here. You are here now. There is no reason to wait to put our wishes down in writing. We have the ability. We are, our own people. We have our own wishes for what we want. Let's get that down in writing and make it real. God forbid something is to happen. A court-appointed judge is not making decisions on your behalf. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to use tracking tools to stay on top of your spending, your saving, and your net worth. You're going to have the ability to know your numbers, right? To jump in and see, oh, this is what I'm saving, this is what I'm spending, etc. And watch your net worth grow over time, which is a really beautiful thing. And lastly, we're going to connect with a community for ongoing support and accountability, educational webinars. So thank you for being here. But also WWB meetups throughout the year, both in person and virtual, to be able to network and grow together. I have such high hopes for the WWB community, and I know that there are a lot of amazing women out there who have been just kind of in this gap, right? Underserviced without that financial support or community. So that is the Wealthy Woman Blueprint and how it works step by step. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, yes, this is the kind of structure and the support that I've been needing, let's talk about what it looks like to join us. Okay. Next steps, if you're feeling called to take that next step and you want to support applying this in your own life, welcome to WWB, baby. WWB, from a pricing perspective, we do a flat pricing, which is really important to know. We are not raising prices if you're richer or if you make more money or anything like that. WWB is a flat $295 a month or $35.40 a year with a 1-year commitment. Totally up to you. If you like to get it done at once, that's fine. If you want to stretch it out over the months, that is great too. I will be working closely with you to create and implement your financial and estate plans, and that's why this program requires a commitment. It gives us the time that we need to build something real and sustainable, but to be honest, my hope is that we work together for the next 40 years. Lindsay and I are not going anywhere. We are super passionate about this, and we want to help you grow over your life, right? And as life changes, as you have children, as you have grandchildren, as you move closer to retirement, etc. As a thank you for being one of our first 10 founding members, so we do have some slots left within that 10 founding members to say yes to this passion project of ours, we're offering $100 off the first month. So $195 for the first month or $34.40 for the year. If you're curious or wondering if this is the right fit for you, just come chat with me. Send me a DM. Let's spend 30 minutes together and just get to know each other a little bit better. I would love to hear where you're at and what you're thinking. And just as a reminder, we're all about progress over perfection. So wherever you're starting, you're right on time, right? It doesn't matter if you have debt or if you don't know what's going on or anything like that. Wherever you are right on time, and we are happy to help. So before jumping into the Q&A, I do want to read you a quote that I read online. It's absolutely crazy when we talk about the power of manifestation and the law of attraction, because I wrote the topic points of what I wanted to talk about today. And then yesterday night, believe it or not, my boyfriend shows me this on his phone from Instagram, and he says, you got to read this. And so I want to read it to you because I felt it is exactly in line with what we talked about today, and that it would make a really nice impact for you. So without further ado, the point of making money is not so you can buy everything. The point of making money is that so no one can buy you. Real wealth is not about flexing with material things. It's about freedom. It's about having the power to say no, to walk away, to live life on your own terms without being controlled by someone else's paycheck or approval. When you chase money for status, you stay a slave to it. But when you build money for freedom, it becomes a tool that works for you instead of the other way around. The goal is not to be owned by things, material things, but to own your time, your choices, and your future. Money at its highest level is leverage. It gives you options, it gives you control, and it makes sure that nobody can dictate your value. Because when you're truly free, that is when you're truly wealthy. Love that. Love that. I felt like that was the perfect way to wrap up my presentation, totally in line with everything that I said. So without further ado, I want to segue over to our Q&A. We've got about 7 minutes left. So if you have any questions, number one, what questions came up? If no questions came up, what's a trait, one of those traits or an idea that stuck with you most? Okay. What's a financial goal that you're excited to work toward this year? Or if you'd like, you can go ahead and put the questions that I asked earlier. So, which areas of the core traits come naturally to you, or what areas can you stretch yourself to be more mindful and to grow?